Good morning, everyone. My name is Yolanda Carvajal. This is Wonder Woman. This podcast is about women entrepreneurs that are making a difference in their community by opening a foundation. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce you to my friend, Denise Castro. Denise Castro is the owner of New Construction and also the founder of Moms Collective. Denise, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, thank
what
you
an
for
honor.
being here. Thank you for being here. So I just want to start by talking a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you native from Miami? Did you go, what universities you went to here, if you went here?
Of course. I am a Miami native. I was born here in South Miami Hospital.
Right there, right
yeah, right here. And I was raised abroad for a little while with my family, and then we came back, and I went to Miami-Dade College, FIU.
I love Miami-Dade.
Amazing.
So
yes, I am 100% a native. My parents are obviously Cuban immigrants. We are of the American promise, of the American dream that really is very prevalent in my family, and I feel like very connected to that. So in everything that I do, it has inspired me to think outside the box of how can I make today even better than tomorrow.
So I imagine that's how you started your developing company, Nucor?
Yes,
correct?
Yes, Nucor.
And when did that begin?
So I was an accidental contractor, as they say.
Ooh.
I started in 2010 to think about things I could do for marketing. My background is in marketing and real estate. And then back then, I noticed there wasn't a lot of women in construction. Really, here in the state of Florida, we only make about 3% of the population. And that's even for developers and contractor women in that space. So the AE space, the architects, engineers, contractors, mostly contractors here in the state of Florida are obviously heavily populated by our male counterparts. So I decided that I wanted to kind of break into that space and see how we could market women in construction. Wow. So I became an owner about 5 years ago.
Oh, congratulations.
And thank you so much. It's been an amazing ride.
My first show, I had City Roofing, Candy, and it's so nice to hear that there are more women in this field. What do you guys specialize in?
We specialize in a lot of affordable housing, believe it or not, multifamily, hotel, retail plazas, existing renovations, because not all new construction, even though that's really great for the economy, sometimes we got to think about what we have in place and sort of just, renew the structure and keep it intact, just make it better so it can withstand the next cycle, a 40-year cycle.
Right. I understand that. I did a little bit of construction at home, and it's updates that you have to do consistently. So that's wonderful. So regarding your beautiful foundation, I would like to start by saying that I love your foundation. I think it's a wonderful cause. And I would like to talk about your logo, how it started. How did Moms Collective started?
Yeah,
Can you share your story
absolutely.
with us?
So the Virtual Mom Collective started as a doodle. It was during the pandemic in 2020 when I realized that moms were going through a lot. Our maternal mental health was just at a complete downward spiral. We were being told to stay home, take care of your kids, work either from home, do it all. And I was a woman contractor, pregnant with my daughter, couldn't go to my job sites, couldn't see anything. It was limited. And I didn't really have community. I had a family, but community is not just only family. I didn't really have other moms that shared maybe the same sentiments as me. I feel like I'm drowning and I just need someone to tell me the same.
Right.
And I started just doodling mom on a notebook, and the word mom, right? So it's an M that marries the O, and the O is really the lifesaver. So I've always extend that lifesaver to someone else, because you don't know what your story may be the guidebook to someone else's salvation or someone else's, opportunity to say same.
Right.
So that's where that came about. And we started virtually.
Wow.
with 20 people on a webinar. And today we are a full nonprofit. We're about almost 300 women in the Tri-County area. And we've been servicing close to maybe like 3,000, 4,000 women in these past 4 years.
Wow. How many women have you helped so far? I know that I went to one event. There was one woman that you helped, and one of the commissioners came and they
doubled.
Yeah, they doubled, and then another one doubled, and it was a wonderful experience seeing that happen live in front of you, how everybody was helping each other.
Thank you. Yes, we've to date we've helped almost 5-6 women in our for our events, and close to $15,000.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're doing such a great job.
Thank you.
One thing that I love about your foundation is that when you go to your events, there are a lot of subjects that come up, and you talk about all the subjects, and you're not being judged or questioned. Your group has a wonderful listening ear and an understanding ear. Talk about your board. I mean, your board is a wonderful group of women like Nat, that I know very well, Pizarro. How did you get this group together?
So I technically started stalking each of them online. Virtually, and I saw what the content they were individually producing, or was listening to their stories, right? And you just said the power of listening, right?
Power of listening.
And feeling compelled by their individual story and saying this person needs to join Virtual Mom Collective because they have so much to add. And, we have 6 board members who are phenomenal in each of their capacities, and they serve different positions. We have a tech chair that helps us with our app to get us all technologically connected, because today in a very fast-moving tech space, you just never know what's updated, what thing to use.
Changing all the time.
Yeah. We have a production chair who does all our videos and our commercial and communicates our message. Senia Marcinko, she's amazing. We have Natalie Pizarro, who is our product chair, who's inspiring, other mothers in the bereaved space like myself to get out there and say your story and what you think might be just a small element of, could be again the next big step of what your purpose and your path might look like. So Natalie Pizarro, I love you.
I love you too.
And then we have Natalie. I already said Natalie Marino, and then we have Grace Sotolongo, who just joined us in community chair. She is also a bereaved mom. She's a widow, and what does that mean when you are a single mom?
Wow.
How you do both mom and dad in that space, it means you have to have those hard conversations,
right? And
then of course Karina Kennedy, who's our branding chair, and Christine McGlinchey, who does our advocacy. And they all have an integral part because each of them, their story has inspired me to keep doing what we're doing. They believe in our mission. They believe in the Virtual Mom Collective because they were so impacted by the fact that I stalked them and said, oh my God, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this message.
And I want to be a part of the message too.
Exactly.
Right?
You are a part of the message already. Have been.
Thank you. So talking about a little bit of the advocacy, how you guys come together, what the next step is. Something that impressed me so much about you is that you went to Congress and you spoke to Congress. And I think that takes a lot of courage to present that to Congress. Can you tell us what you presented to Congress?
Yes, absolutely. We spoke on the Child Care Act, which is it's literally a set amount of dollars that's allotted to each of your child, and we're trying to elevate that. I believe it was $2,600 to $3,200 to help us afford childcare, if not offset the costs, and say, when you're seeking parental equality, majority of the time is when mothers return to the workforce. There's 40% of us who don't. There's 40% of us who say, my salary makes no sense because I know that the childcare I'm going to have to pay, it is more than me staying at home and raising your child, which I want to say it's a job. Being a mother that's work,
100%.
That's unpaid labor. And it's important to bring that up because it's a tough conversation, because we just want the opportunity to reintegrate to the workforce. We don't necessarily, our children are one of the greatest investments we'll ever make.
Amen.
But having to pick between your child and your career on early onset, I know I had to, is a very difficult decision. So, just to tell Congress, like, help us, support us.
Of course.
Whether it's help pay for FMLA or for this Child Care Act, help support us so that we can come back. And when we're ready, we're going to give you 1,000%.
I remember when I had my first child, one of the things is that I had to go back to work. And I also wanted to go back to work. But when you looked at the numbers, it just didn't make sense. And that's very important that you did something like that, because some women don't go back to work. Even though they want to go back to work, they can't because it's not affordable. And so that's such an important topic that needs to continue to be informed in our community. I know you were short by a few points that we didn't get it correct.
Yep, actually by 1 vote.
Oh my God. How did you feel when you missed that 1 vote?
I felt I had a good cry.
Of course.
I felt like I, had temporarily been put a block, but that's why I'm a builder. Right. Because I'm gonna break those blocks. If not, or I'll build around the blocks. Maybe not break the blocks, but I'll build around the blocks and find a way to get that yes. Find that way to get that yes and turn those no's into yeses.
So I hope you go back. I'm praying that you go back. I have told you I want you to go back. So I think it's very important. We're already in a stage of our lives, but for our daughters, right? So that they have those opportunities, that we didn't. I think that's that circle that you're talking about in your logo, it doesn't start only with, us. It's our great-grandmothers, our grandmothers, our mothers, and our children, right?
Absolutely.
Our girls.
Absolutely.
So you're a busy woman. You wrote this beautiful book, right? This wonderful book to help a lot of struggling moms that are trying to get pregnant. And they've gone through certain situations. Tell me a little bit about your book and what was the purpose? I know this is
Thank you.
Straight to your heart.
Yes. So Womb of a Mother, The Odyssey of Motherhood, was honestly a journal journey, as I, in 2016, lost my late daughter as a stillbirth, Sophia Grace. And when I was going through that situation and had to make these decisions about returning to the workforce, I went back to work 3 days later, and the toll it took on my mental health is still something that I work on every day. So what helped me write the next chapter of what to do and how to sort of encompass that, because I didn't believe, or I actually I just didn't know that others out there had who have undergone what I have had the ability to voice that this is very common, and it's still very hard, as common in miscarriage and stillbirth and infertility are. They are something that is very much taboo to speak about in society, and it's something we need to sort of regulate, because we again cannot have that stance of let's not talk about it, suppress those situations. And so Womb of a Mother is really a dedication and honoring my story from 8 years ago. It's 10 short chapters, but each chapter it talks about the different steps and what happens next, because I was considered not a biological mom. And so that not a mom thing really hurt me for a long time, because my body was telling me one thing and my mind was telling me something else. So, how do we advocate for ourselves? How do we just help others understand that their story really matters? It's by writing. It's by writing and journaling. And by doing so, you're elevating not only your voice, but again, you're writing the map to someone else who can say, oh my God, she went through exactly what I went through. I need to speak to this person, or I'm not afraid. I'm going to go, I'm going to seek help. I'm going to find, the next, what do I do with my life? And who are we? I always say my book is also a dedication to her life. And she inspires me every day, just like my 2 other children on earth, to get to stand up and say, I'm going to get through the next day, and I'm going to make today better, and tomorrow will even be better.
Right. And listening to all of you, which I've gone to so many of the meetings, it's a support. You feel the support of her there, and it motivates you to continue, because that's what I've understood with all of you, that you feel that energy that is taking you a certain direction, that's why this book is so wonderful, because a lot of families have family members that go through this and really haven't gone through it. You can't really relate. So I learned a lot in that meeting, how I was not understanding my own family. So I think what you're doing is bringing light to all these women that are going through this process, and that we have to have more compassion and understand and listening to them. And if we cannot help them, find some place or someone that could help. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're giving them a direction where to go. And I really appreciate that, because I didn't know that myself. And I think what you're doing is so powerful. What is the future of Virtual Moms Collective? What are your goals for it?
So now that it's a full nonprofit, I feel like the next step is to take it to the state level, and perhaps develop chapters nationwide. I'm a realist, so maybe 5-10 years, and make it something where it's not only a nonprofit but a movement. And whether that looks like staying in the state of Florida or maybe going to DC and kind of spreading our wings that way,
that would be
on a congressional level, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. How can we help you? What support do you need to get there?
So obviously donations, always welcome. That is what helps support our programming. That is what helps us support us to go and also take whatever acts we're supporting to the next level and advocate for petitions, for example. Mm-hmm. For our programming, our events, if you ever want to come and speak and you feel very aligned, and you feel like your business really aligns with our missions, our 3 pillars, which is maternal mental health, financial wellness, and equality in the workplace, you can become a member. We're, again, a nonprofit. Those are donation-based monies that are allocated to us, and follow us, and just keep advocating, not only through Virtual Mom Collective, but if you are a woman or a mother, advocate with your voice. Follow us and we will follow you back, and we'll always support your voice.
That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. And you're doing it. That's an amazing opportunity you're giving so many women. What advice would you give women that are trying to become entrepreneurs, moms that are taking a chance to become entrepreneur? What advice would you give them today? How to do it, how to start, or, some ideas. They have some ideas.
Yeah. I'd say the first would be, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Okay,
because
that's a good one.
Motherhood is not perfect. Motherhood is hard. And being an entrepreneur side by side, or when you're a mompreneur, you unite those 2 key words, mother and entrepreneur. It's a merge that takes balance, takes dedication, but don't be afraid to make mistakes, because mistakes are what help you learn and get to the next step.
When is your next event? I know you have a few events throughout the year and you post them on Instagram.
Yes.
I think it's Mommy and Me, no?
Yeah, it's the next one is our Virtual Mom Collective Summit, and it's called Mom, When I Grow Up, I Want to Be. That's the theme. And it's an exploration between the mother and child of what the inner child brings, and connecting the dreams of the mother with the ones of her children to see if they overlap or they don't, but how we can inspire them to think that they can be anything, just like their mothers.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think it's going to be a great summit.
March 1st. March 1st yes. At FIU at the Frost Start from 10 to 2.
I think it's going to be wonderful. Everything you do is wonderful. I really appreciate you being here with me today. If anybody's interested in helping them, Virtual Moms Collective, please follow her. It's a wonderful foundation that helps so many women. She is letting us dream and helping us making our dreams come true by supporting us. My next podcast will be on December 5th. It will be with, oh my God, I just forgot the name. Sorry, Smiley Faces. And I would like to thank my friend Denise Castro for being here today with me, and also the community newspaper. And I want you to remember to always hope and always believe. And something I learned today recently from Pitbull is that giving, his actual words was, living is giving. And that's what we should be doing, living and giving. And that's what Denise is doing. And I hope I'm putting a little seed there as well. So thank you everybody for joining me here today. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.